Hi, everyone. I come here today and I want to be fully transparent with you. Today is Sunday. Okay, today is Sunday. I don't usually work on Sunday, but I also do whatever I want. And I didn't record this podcast episode, and this podcast episode comes out every Monday, and it's also a YouTube video. So maybe you're watching this on YouTube. And so today we're going to speak about high level buyers. And I was just posting something on Thread about it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to record a podcast on this because I have so much to say on how to attract those high ticket buyers. And you probably see everywhere at the moment content from business coaches and Instagram gurus telling you how to attract high ticket buyer, telling you also, are you a high ticket buyer? To attract high ticket buyer, you need to be a high ticket buyer. And a high ticket buyer is someone who invests very fast in his business, in her business. And so you hear all of this characteristic, right, of who is a high level buyer. And for you, it is something that you are right now trying to put in your content. Okay. So in your content, you're like, yes, I want this person that come onto my account. She was not following me right away. She asked me about my offer, or she just buy out of the blue. Like, this is what I want. Okay. And if we were having a conversation, you could tell me at this time, yes, Gwen, this is what I want, because I know you, like you, either one of my clients, or I know that you are exactly like one of my clients. And all of my clients say that these are the things that they want. So it's also a conversation for you if you are one of my clients, but you are not in one of my high proximity container. And so maybe we didn't have this conversation face to face. So I actually don't believe right now, and I'm not saying that in the past I didn't believe this, but now I don't believe that there is a high ticket buyer and that there is a low ticket buyer. And I feel it's almost rude to think this, because if you think about it, like, would you like that someone say you are a low ticket buyer? And someone said that to me recently, like, or said that in a masterclass, and I was just like, it's true, like, who is a low ticket buyer? Like, not low ticket, sorry, a low level buyer. And so here I wanted to come in here, and that's why, like, also the title of this episode is a little bit misleading, because I know that's what you want, but I'm going to give you like an actual side note on what is a high ticket, a high level buyer, and what it's not. And so I do feel that rather than being really like someone who will just like jump and that make them high level, I think the main thing here is that it's something with your personality. Okay. And beyond, your personality also is always the same, but the way that you take action, what you're doing, like, it kind of evolves. Yeah, it evolves with how you are growing your business. And so maybe at the beginning, when I was growing my business, I was not making decisions super fast. When I think about the first time I bought an online course to learn how to grow my business, talked to my husband. My husband was like, oh my God, this is so much money. That was probably like between $400 and $700. I can't even remember. That was so long ago. And I was just like, I have to think about this and da da da. And actually, I think like I didn't think about it so long, because the guy, it was doing a sales call, and the guy kind of like made me go through some question that made me, I needed to buy now, or if not, like, it will be a lot more expensive. On those sales calls where you leave the sales call and you feel that you have been so manipulated, and then you're like, what did I just do? When you bought something. That's why I also dislike this kind of sales calls. But that's a conversation for another time. I don't feel like you are superior if you invest fast. Okay. Right now, I'm a savvy business owner. Yeah. I haven't created a business like 6 months ago. Okay. So even if this business and how it is right now is actually quite new, like, I've built like 3 multi 6 figure business. Like, I know what I want. I know what I like. I know what I dislike. When I see something or someone, I'm just like, yes, no, yes, no, like, I know. But if right now you don't know, it's also fine if you taking your time. We also all have different ways of making decisions. In my personality and how I am, I tend to be an emotional person. So I do make decision quite fast if my emotion goes well with it. And I will say no also straight away, even if later I may change my mind. So I'm very open with everyone having different ways of investing. And so I think it's also interesting for you to understand this, because when you sell something in your business, if you expect that as soon as you drop something like everyone should buy, no, not everyone is going to buy. That doesn't mean that they're not maybe your ideal client. It's just maybe they make decision another way that you do. So ways that people make decision is very interesting to understand, because in your content on your sales page, you are going to include this kind of things. So let's say someone, and you know, like the different buyer types. So someone that is analytical, like, will have to probably quickly check, okay, what times are the calls? What am I going to do here? Like, okay, these are the details and information, and that fits well with me and my brain. Someone who is emotional is going to have content that make them feel something, make them feel that they belong. Like, so there's so many different ways for someone to buy, and someone might do it fast, someone might do it slow. But I don't think that being a high level buyer make you just buy maybe instantly. And maybe the difference here is actually, yeah, to have someone that is more experimented, someone that has more experience, and the more I talk about this, I feel that here, like, a very important point is actually this, is when you have someone who knows exactly what they want, yeah, when you have someone that knows exactly what they want, the purchase is going to go a lot faster. You also have like some people that they might just discover you and they're like, oh, I actually didn't think about it this way. Like, this is so interesting. And then they're analyzing, like, is this what I want for myself? Is this something that resonates with me? And it's going to take them a certain amount of time. And I feel like if you do want to think about this high level buyer and you want to tag that and put this in your content, here is what I will do. I would be very clear with who I am. Yeah, very clear with who I am and how I hold myself, how I make decisions to attract people who maybe make decisions like me. Because I also see a lot of people being like, yes, I want high level buyers. I want people that do this, this, and this. They invest big time in themselves. And then I'm like, do you invest big time in yourself? I think like it's also, you have to also mirror yourself here. And I think it's quite interesting to just see, like, okay, am I actually doing what I expect other people to do? And if behind the scene you are doing this, okay, I want you to show it in your content. This is what happened yesterday. This is exactly what I did about it. This is how I handled it. Even something that you feel is not good. You feel like, oh my God, like, I'm an expert in this. I should not be doing this. This is exactly what you want to share with your people. Okay. So you're going to share a content around that and explaining how you hold yourself behind. Okay. What happened, how you hold yourself behind. And this will help people also see, like, oh, she's doing this. Like, so when I do this, I'm also like her, and this make a point of connection, which you are going to attract then more high level buyers for you. Because I think the low level buyer in the mind of a lot of people, like the characteristic that they have, might just be someone either that need more time to make a decision, or it can be someone who's just not your ideal client. Maybe like some people, they just love working with beginners. Like, and I see it even in business, like, and that was me like some years ago. Like, I just loved helping people like start from nothing. And honestly, like now I still like it, but for me, my ideal client is more a personality. It doesn't really match like someone where they are so much in their business. I just love a driven woman like me. And I see some driven women like that, they can start at zero. And because they are like me, okay, this like, I'm going to get this and make this happen. I have no idea how. I'm going to figure it out as I go. Those women are my ideal client. And some of them, they take like 6 months to make a decision. And that's fine. They make it on their own time. It does not concern me. It doesn't change my life, how they make decision, but they are still a high level buyer. And if we even talk about high ticket, they invest in my high ticket offer. A lot of people who don't used to invest, let's say $1,000 or $3,000, like, it's going to take them a moment. It's uncomfortable. They have to be like, oh my God, I'm investing this money. I have never invested this money in myself, in my business, like depending on what you're doing. I'm going to do it. It's so uncomfortable, and I'm going to do it because I believe I can have this result. I believe that this person is the right person to help me get there. This is what I believe. But there is this time where it is uncomfortable. And so I don't think that a high level buyer do not have fear, do not have the fear of investing. It's not that they don't have this fear, is that they are going to do it anyway. And so a lot of the time, I see some of my clients having this fear of what are people doing, and if I post this, what people are going to do. And so there's so many different fears that end up being showing up, like that end up show up in our business, and it's the same for our clients. Okay, so I want you to really see that there are some fears that are going to come up for you as you grow your business, and you know it, like that's normal, that's something that you are experiencing already today. And so maybe you can also give credit to your clients, yeah, to your clients that perhaps themselves also they have those fears, yeah. Maybe they also have the fear of like what is going to happen when I grow my business, or what is going to happen when I join her program. It's this amount of money. It's going to take me a minute to think about it. It doesn't always mean they don't have the money. We don't always have to be like aggressive about it. Okay. Yeah, I just think that it is an important conversation to have around high level buyers, the low level buyers. And instead of my tip for you today is that instead of trying to attract someone like the person that buy in half second, because this is not something you're going to control. You're going to have clients like this. You're going to have people, they never followed you, they discover you, and right away they buy your offer, and then right away they upgrade to your higher offer. This happens to me all the time. Okay, that's fine, that's normal. But you're also having the other people, and they are not the people that buy right away. They're not superior. Okay, they just have a different ways of doing things. Maybe they're more experienced, maybe they know more what they want, maybe they have a different process when they make decisions. So instead of being judgmental in this, I think the importance is that you show up the same way. You stop being judgmental on like who you are attracting. Are they a low level client? Are they a high level client? But instead really showing up as yourself, showing who you are, and not like thinking, am I going to attract a low level client if I speak about this, if I use pain point marketing? I'm a high level buyer and I need pain point marketing. I need to see that you understand my problem. So instead of creating content around on that, around being superior, being inferior, I think create content like you, okay? And you will attract people like you. And some people take some month to make a decision, and that's fine. Just let them make their decision. Why not? Yeah. Let them take the time that they're going to take. Make sure that in your content, you are speaking to all the buyer types, all the buyer personas in your sales page, and then keep showing up. Okay. And stop counting on the external validation of what I'm doing is not working because no one signed up in the half second that I dropped this offer. Okay. Maybe people need a little bit of time. I leave you on this. I hope this episode was super valuable for you in like changing your perspective on what is a high level buyer and what is a low level buyer, and continue to go on your content. If your content is bad, then of course you're not going to make any sales. So remember that your content is a byproduct of your identity. Okay. So who you believe you are. And if you have not listened to the masterclass where I talked about all of the things, okay, in very detail on how why people are not buying yet, you can go on my website businesswithgwen.com/masterclass, and you will find a link for the masterclass. During this masterclass, I also opened the doors to an upgraded version of my 6-month program Elevate for badass women who want to scale to 100K plus per year, refining their offers, refining their messaging, refining their positioning, refining their leadership. If this is you and this is a moment where you feel you need support, you need more support or different support than what you're having right now, you can also check Elevate. I'll talk about it at the end of the masterclass. You can go and watch the masterclass, or you can go straight into Elevate and look at it at business.com, business with. I can't wait to hear from you. If you have any questions, just send me a DM on Instagram. I love hearing from you. Okay, so send me a DM. Bye, everyone.